Obviously we wanted to come away with 3 points, but I think it was just hard for us to be able to finish, actions. Obviously we had the opportunities to go and, finish, but we weren't as lethal as we want to be. So happy that we were able to come out with a point, but also not happy that we couldn't come up with 3 points, trying to fight for that supporter shield.
All right, turn to question. We'll start with Austin David.
Hey, Alex, just taking me back to the goal you scored, and how are you feeling after taking a hit like that?
Um, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm running and I'm trying to score, and I just at that moment I was just me. I saw the ball and I just ran as fast as I could to it. I got a hit onto it, and I think now after that goal, obviously, when you get hit in the head, you don't feel the best, but um, I had to go through it. I had still had about 30, 40 minutes, 30, 20 minutes left in the game. So, it was just me thugging it out and be able to keep going.
We'll go to Mike Romano.
Thanks, Omar. Alex, just curious. Obviously, you just mentioned that you guys were not as lethal as you guys wanted to be. Obviously, it was a DC United squad that went down to 10 players. Just curious what the outlook was after the final whistle, knowing that obviously with so many chances and with the man advantage, obviously you guys get the points, but came very close. Well, not just missed out on just getting those 3 points. Just wondering what was the general feeling, knowing that the opportunity was there tonight and it was just not there for the taking fully today.
I think as a team, obviously we wanted more, be able to go away with 3 points. Um, obviously, like I said, we had chances that we, couldn't specifically finish. But now I think it's just us being able to, go on video, work on what we need to do, that we want to grade on in the game and be able to, go home next week and get the 3 points.
We'll turn to Michael Cedrona.
Thanks for your time, Alex. Alex, the team has been up a man a few times, and it just doesn't, for whatever reason, the offense doesn't look as fluid. And I'm just curious as to what you're experiencing on the field when you guys are up a man in games like this.
I think for us, it's just, to be more calm. I feel like sometimes, when we're up a man, and it's a tie game or we're losing, it's our trigger to just go and just shoot or pass wherever we need. But I feel like in those situations, make them tired, be able to run them out and then be able to, attack. I feel like in those situations, sometimes we rush a little more than we have to. Just be able to go and be calm and be more lethal, more specific and more precise in those situations.
We'll go back to Mike.
Alex, tonight, and obviously it's just your first game back after spending some time with the national team. We saw, obviously because the game just allowed the team to be really all over that final third. But we saw you'll play a little bit more up high tonight. It's kind of reminiscent to how Pochettino had you during the window, having you play up high. Just curious to see if that was something that Oscar talked to you about, and if that's a new type of, I guess you can kind of say, ammunition that you can add to your arsenal, knowing that you can kind of contribute fully now in the final third, not just always having to drop back and contribute defensively as well.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, all season with national team and Orlando, I think, I've been, one of my strong suits is being able to go forward. And in this game, this game allowed me to be able to go forward more than often, And I think for me, it's just being able to go forward and I'll be, more precise in my passes and be, finish chances, obviously. It's just now me, if I'm getting those situations, just me being able to, capitalize on it. So I feel like, in this game, it was, obviously how a ton of chances I feel like I could have done better on. But at the end of the day, it's just me looking back and, trying to fix everything I can to be able to do it, perfect it on Saturday.
And last one to Austin.
There we go. Alex, just in terms of the game overall, with DC playing such a lower block and putting so many numbers behind the ball, this isn't the first time a team is played in that kind of defensive shape. What have you kind of learned just over the course of the season when teams do that? What you need to do offensively? Obviously, game shifted when they go down a man, but just overall when you play a defensive minded team.
Yeah, I feel like, we need to be patient, I feel like it's something that we need to work on, just be patient, be able to choose our moments when to go and when to keep the ball. I think that goes back to the question talking about the 10 men, they sat back very low. And I think just us being more patient and being able to go and attack when we need to, but not every time, and I feel like we've been through that a lot this season when people stay back because they know how lethal we are offensively, and it's just something that we need to learn is to move the ball quicker and be able to shift the line and then be able to break it when they're unorganized.